there's rollerblading and then there's them, right? Like seriously. And I think it's so innovative and new that a lot of people don't know how to like interact with it, or like, you know, skaters like, oh shit, like rollerblading's popping off. Yeah, I mean, when I started Brain Dead with my partner Ed Davis, we were thinking about more of just like the culture we're part of, right? Like whether we like loved art, film, music, you know, skating, whatever it was. We were kind of over fashion at the time. Like I was in fashion, he was more a graphic designer, but like, you know, I didn't really connect with fashion or like the people fully in the fact of just like garments or whatever it is, like skating, right? Like that's where I learned style or whatever. You know, growing up, even when I skateboarded a lot, I didn't wear Nike Dunks because it was like a sneaker collecting thing. I wore them to skate because Daniel Shimizu did. Last year, I was asked to curate an exhibit in the Triennale, I think it's called, in Italy. So I basically told them what we want to do for the project is send this queer community of skateboarders that were in the Bay Area and send them to Milan to show a new culture of skaters that exist in this small pocket. Nike SB paid for it. And it was just really inspiring, right? Like it was just like people seeing skateboarding in a new light over there in Milan, right? That they probably weren't exposed to. From that, I was following this guy Chandler, who's this amazing skateboarder, and he posted this guy Robbie Pitts rollerblading. When I saw Robbie and I saw Pat Ritter and these rollerbladers like Alex Brosk, you know, seeing what Broskow was doing now, I was like, damn, this is a real underground, like it felt right. So I think what happened was I told Robbie Pitts that I was like really into what he was doing, and he was like, oh, you should hit up John Julio. Like he's the coolest guy, like he's the man.
Switch asshole.
I don't recall seeing John for the first time in the video, but I definitely remember seeing him for the first time in real life. Probably the hoax videos, I guess.
The first time I saw John Julio in anything was the Coupe de Tat video, the USD Coupe de Tat video.
You would skate to the local skate shop and you'd buy a VHS for like $25, which would have been a lot of money at the time, especially for such a young kid.
We got the VHS at the store called Ooga Booga in Concord, California.
And then you'd watch it over and over and over and over, but you would never get tired of it, you know. John is the face of rollerblading for sure, so he's one of the people that really get people motivated to skate, to film, to create, to anything that involves the sport or the industry or whatever. Then he would be one of the ones that really helps push it or makes you push yourself, or, you know, really makes you believe in it.
My name is John Julio. I'm 44 years old. I own Them Skates, founder of the Blading Cup. I've been skating for 25 plus years. I'd say I got sponsored around 95. I won a national championship in 96. And after that, I got sponsored by a big skate company at the time. And to be honest, I haven't really looked back. We, as an industry, how do I say, like we were run by corporate business when we started. Gap, Slim Jim, you know.
Like it was just like RB sponsored X Games, right? Or whatever, like, and it was huge. But this idea of action sports was this like huge glob of industry. You know what I mean? Like everyone was making products for skateboarding, rollerblading. It's just like this new extreme concepts. And, you know, everyone else who weren't rollerbladers were probably like, you know what, this is kind of whack, because they're kind of taking our equity into the action sports world. And it just was, you know, it was the downfall of rollerblading.
We didn't have a history, we didn't have lineage of people we didn't have our Tony Hawk, or we didn't have Andrew Reynolds. We didn't, you know, there wasn't time enough to make all these legends, you know. So we got ostracized from X Games, from just mainstream media. Like you never saw it. Like it was crazy. From one decade, we were everywhere, and the next gone, you know? So it was definitely tough to stay involved and make a living. We had to create our own brands. We had to create our own contest circuits. We had to create our own events. And within all that, like, something really authentic, you know, was born. And that kind of became our foundation. The people that never left, and people like Yvonne.
He believed to me when I was 20, 21, you know, and I was getting paid to travel and skate and film, and so it was really one of the best opportunities I've ever had in my whole life. His views haven't really changed ever since, you know, I was 13 years old. I think he always had the same idea about skating and where it could go and where it should go, and like what would happen if the right people were involved. And they're not necessarily here to just make money. I mean, it's good to make money because you have to, but that was never really the initial reason why people were here, and it's definitely not why people stuck around.
2016, things were just really bad financially with my relationship, you know, with this other company. I had a kid, I'm married, and, you know, I'm at 40 at that time. One option is to get a real job, get benefits, and support my family, or I can go to China with a couple of connections that I had in manufacturing and try to pursue my own thing. Thankfully for my wife Viola, she was like, you gotta at least try, you know, like, to be honest, it's kind of crazy to think about it now. I had these two colorways, black and white. I took pictures of these two skate samples. I put them on my website, up for pre-order, you know? And the community bought it. And I raised 150 grand, you know? So that's ultimately how we started, you know? And thankful.
You know, seeing John and what them was doing felt so innovative and real. And I haven't seen a lot of companies at any genre or any community like that, you know? And the one thing I love about rollerblading was, like, you know, there's not a lot of money in it, right? At the time, especially. And then seeing someone so diehard and committed to their culture is what I find as the truest sense of authenticity and sincerity. And I wanted to be part of that. As far as like anything I could do to supplement or help that out, I'm down. I mean, honestly, it was just super easy. Like when John and I were like, let's do a skate, I mean, it was just fast. Like, you know, I think I sent him a photo of like the soles of our shoes, our rower shoes. And then we started looking at like Frisbees, like Vibram Frisbees. And I was like, dang, like it'd be really cool to have a swirl boot. And he's like, let's try. And then this one sample comes and we're like, this is crazy. And we knew immediately, like, this is a hitter. I mean, I just like to shout out my team. I think that my team, like, you know, a lot of the ideas that, you know, we've had over COVID especially seem super crazy. Like, let's open a movie theater, or let's do this. Let's do a rollerblade, whatever it is. Like, they've always backed my idea and supported me and our partners. And I'm just super grateful for my team.
A lot of life could have went different ways with this brand, and like we would never exist. We couldn't exist to this point without the community supporting. To be honest, I never thought like this kind of fashion world would be where we would excel, and it's a good sign. I think it's a good sign for skating. It's a good sign for us as a brand, and hopefully it continues.
You know, the future of Braindead is really just like tackling culture in a way of looking at things of less about how do I just sell more product, but how do I actually affect culture and community. Braindead is here to like support the arts, food, music, whatever it is, even skating now, hopefully, and you know, just make an inclusive space that people can experiment and feel part of a community in anywhere we go.